Hi there and welcome back to my channel. Today I've got a simple card for you using minimal supplies, and you can easily adapt this card to whatever you have in your stash. So I'm starting off with this piece of pearlescent cardstock. I thought this would add some extra detail, but in the end I could have just used some plain cardstock. I also have some 300 GSM textured cardstock, and I'm going to use this star die set and use the largest die to cut out two pieces to create my card base.
If you really love me, you'd have never said yes to getting married. So you take this moment and just lose your mind.
So I'm going to pick up my scoreboard here and score one line. Then I'll burnish that score line with my bone folder, apply some strong wet adhesive, then match up the stars, and that will create my card base. You can do this with any of your shape dies within reason, and I love to create my own card bases in this way, and you can come up with some pretty unique designs. So take a look through your die collection and see what you can make.
Take this moment and just lose your mind. Try to control it and don't turn your head to see if I'm still there as you walk away with the wind.
Okay, so now I'm just going to pop that to one side to let it dry while I carry on with the next step.
I sail away into the light without saying a word. Without saying a word.
So now I've got the fifth and the third die down from this star set, and I'll use these to create a frame for my design. First though, I need to take that pearlescent paper and I want to make it sparkle. So I'm cutting a big enough piece because I want enough to create the frame, and I also want a little bit extra for the sentiment. You'll see later. I'm going to ink up that whole piece using Versamark sticky ink, then cover the entire panel with lavender glitter embossing powder from Wow. I'm taking my time to make sure I have a good coverage, then I'll heat set that with my heat tool and all that glitter will sparkle. The camera doesn't quite pick up how much it sparkles, but trust me, it's there. So hopefully you'll be able to see in a moment once I've heat set it.
If you really love me, you'd have never said yes to getting married. So you take this moment and just lose your mind. Try to control it and don't turn your head to see if I'm still there as you walk away.
Now I'm just going to repeat that process until the whole panel is covered.
Destiny for me, you see, is like an apple tree, forever changing with the seasons.
Okay, so now I'm going to take that fifth and third die, line them up as evenly, or as evenly as I can anyway, and then I'll hold them in place using some low tack tape. Then I'm going to use my Gemini die cutting machine to cut out that frame.
This moment and just lose your mind. Try to control it and don't turn your head to see if I'm still there as you walk away.
Okay, so now I have some of this matte mirror cardstock from Sizzix, and it's in the charcoal collection, although it has a slight purple hue to it. But it is really pretty up close and personal. And I'm just using the larger of those two dies I used for the frame, and I cut out another star shape, and this will be my background for my project. For a little extra wow, I'm going to use one of the brand new 3D embossing folders from Lisa Horton Crafts. These are so cool. The deep impression you achieve from them is stunning. On my folders, I like to mark the emboss and the deboss sides, as sometimes I get a little bit muddled with which side is which, especially when using cardstock that is single-sided. For my Gemini, I'm just using the 2 clear cutting plates, so consult your machine and look at the instructions on what combination you use for embossing folders and 3D embossing folders. And just look at that amazing detail. I think you'll agree that the embossed detail you get from these folders is second to none. Those dots really do stand out. Even the deboss side could be used. I want to place that frame over my embossed background, so I'm going to use some 5mm wide and 2mm deep foam tape, and this will just add a little extra dimension and extra detail. And after releasing that backing to the foam tape, I can add that to my background and then use some more wet adhesive to place on my earlier prepared card base.
Just lose your mind, try to control it, and don't turn your head to see if I'm still there as you walk away. With the wind in my sails.
This really is a pretty simple and easy but elegant design, and I really love it.
The light without saying a word. Without
So for the sentiment, I'm going to use this stamp and die bundle from Lisa Horton Crafts, and it is absolutely gorgeous. They're large in size, and one of the best features is they have a matte and layered die for each sentiment. So there are 6 sentiments and you get 6 stamps and 12 dies in total. I store my stamps in the original carrier sheets, but I store my dies on a magnetic sheet just to keep them organised. I've chosen the Hello, How Are You sentiment, and it will fit on this card perfectly. And this card will be sent to a dear friend. I want her to know I'm thinking of her in these troubling times. So I'm using some Catherine Paula ink, the Twilight colour, and I'm using my stamp positioning tool as I want to double stamp, making sure I get a nice, clear and crisp impression. And again, I've used that pearlescent paper just to keep everything coordinated.
loved me and never said yes to getting married. So you take this moment and just lose your mind. Try to control it and don't turn your head to see if I'm still there as you walk away.
So I've taken the inner coordinating die first to cut out my sentiment, and then I'll use the outer coordinating die on that glitter cardstock I made, and that will cut out the matte layer, and that's again keeping everything coordinated.
As it grows, and as it grows, and as it grows, so do I. So you take this moment and just lose your mind. Try to control it and don't turn your head to see if I'm still there as you walk away. With the wind in my sails, safe in my mind, we'll fail. I've sailed my way into the light.
Okay, so all that's left to do now is adhere these two together, so you've got a nice glittery matte layer. I'll glue these together using my wet adhesive, and then I'll add some more of that 3D foam tape and position on my card. Again, I'd just like to say I think this is really simple, easy and very effective. I've not added any other embellishments as I've all the sparkle I need with the different finishes of the cardstock I've used. Feel free to add any gems, sequins, ribbon, whatever tickles your fancy. I hope you can see how pretty it looks, but in real life I'm really happy with the result. If you stay tuned for some close-up shots and an example I made using some Sizzix glitter cardstock from the charcoal collection at the end.
Me and I never said yes to getting married. So you take this moment.
I encourage you to make something similar, then post your make in my Facebook group. Links are in the description along with links to the products I've used. I'll try and find as many as I can and post them there for you. All that's left to say is please subscribe, like and share with your crafty friends. And that's all from me today. Be kind to each other. Bye for now.
Grows as it